My daughter Savannah is the CEO of faking illness to get out of school. So when she does not feel like being there, she will go to the nurse's office and complain to them that she is really not feeling good so that they call me and I have to go get her. Well, one day after this happens, I walk into the administrative office and everybody is really concerned because Savannah is sitting in a chair like so dramatically like, hi, Mom. And like when I saw her, I burst out laughing. I was like, oh my God, are you okay? And everybody looked at me like I was some really bad mom. Like, oh my God, why aren't you more concerned? But as we were walking out, she was walking really slow and actually didn't look good. So even I was a little concerned. I was like, oh my God, honey, are you okay? Until we got to the car when Savannah looks at me and goes,
this is the reason why everybody thought I dropped out of high school. Over the 4 years of high school, I was probably in school a total of 100 times altogether. And this wasn't because I was lazy. I mean, partially. But it was mostly because I had really bad stomach problems. So I always had these doctor's appointments. I was always missing school because my stomach hurt. So then my junior year, since my attendance was really, really bad, they decided to put me on home instruction. This means that teachers would come to my house for about 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. And my teachers had to bring with them these time slips. For example, saying that they saw me from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And when I was a minor, my dad had to sign it. And when they hand in those time slips, those are the hours they're getting paid for. So I had this one teacher. She was my history teacher, but we would literally just gossip the entire time. She was mad chill. Sometimes, though, she would cancel on me, and sometimes I would cancel on her. But this was my senior year, so I was 18. So I was able to sign the time slips. So I saw her once a month when I was supposed to see her 4 times a month. So every time she came, I signed 4 time slips. I got the credit, she got the check.
Story time. So one day I was walking home and I snuck out that night, so it was really dark and scary. It was 4 in the morning. I met up with my boyfriend. And my boyfriend, he didn't walk me home. He just stayed at his house, I went home and I went to bed because it was really late, but I didn't get caught, so. But then the next thing I know, there's somebody walking in the basement of my house. And nobody was home because my parents went to work that morning. So I was kind of scared, but I went downstairs to go check it out. And it was my boyfriend holding a knife. I ran upstairs and locked myself in the bathroom.
Hi guys, so you all keep asking for part 2. So I ran upstairs and locked the door. He started banging on the door, and I was asking him what did he want? He said that he's not trying to hurt me. I heard breaking glass and things hitting walls and all kind of stuff. He knocked on the door again and said, you can come out now. And he's scared half to death. Before I came out, I called the cops. I waited until the cops got there. Then I came out. There was 2 people, my boyfriend and some random guy. The cops come barging in my room as my boyfriend was telling me everything that happened. So basically, somebody else was in my house. My boyfriend snuck in because he wanted to say hi. He told me he was just protecting me from this random guy that broke into my house. And that's why I told the cops, because I believe my boyfriend. No offense. And my parents came home and yelled at me because my boyfriend was there. But then we told them the story and then they understood a little bit.
This is my tattoo horror story. So this was for my 19th birthday, I believe. I really wanted a tiny little crown tattoo on the back of my neck. I saw it on Pinterest and I was like, I need this tattoo. I need it right now. So I messaged my normal tattoo guy and he was already booked for the next few days, and like I said, I wanted it right then and there, which was a very big mistake looking back at it. And it was a Sunday, so not many tattoo shops were even open in the first place, except for one. I wish I could just out this place. It is literally the most horrible place run by the most horrible people. But anyway, I go in. He told me that he could do it, but it has to be bigger because he can't do something that small. Which I've seen tattoo artists do tiny little tattoos, so that was the first red flag. But I was being impulsive and stubborn and I really wanted that tattoo right then and there, so I said okay. He put the stencil on me and it looked small, it looked good. After having him tattoo my neck for over an hour and a half, I started to get worried. Part 2 of my tattoo horror story. So I was in the tattoo shop for about 2.5 hours. This wasn't because he was tattooing me for 2 hours, but because he kept on taking short breaks. He kept on telling me that he had to take a smoke break. And I was like, okay, that's fine, do what you gotta do. It was only him and another guy working there, nobody else. And every time he would take a smoke break, him and his coworker would go outside. During like the third smoke break that they had, I had to pee, so I went to the bathroom. And when you're coming out of the bathroom, you're able to see outside, like through the window. So I noticed that the guy that was giving me my tattoo had a pill bottle in his hand. I kind of figured it was like Tylenol or something. But he was pouring it into his coworker's hand and he looked mad sus. So I go back and I wait in the room, sitting in the chair. Mind you, my friend was with me. And they took another 10-15 minutes to come back. And the way that I was sitting, my head was kind of like leaning down. So every time he would come back, the door was behind me, so I didn't really have to look at his face. And keep in mind that this was the longest break that he took the whole time. So after we left, my friend told me,
I think I just had a wholesome paranormal experience. So last night I had gotten back home from hanging out with my friends. And at this point, I think it was around 10 o'clock at night, and I go straight to my room and I just go on TikTok. And at this point, I was home alone. My sister was out hanging out with her boyfriend and my dad was out hanging out with his friends. So I'm just home alone sitting in my room watching TikToks. And as most of you guys know, I don't really have any pets. I have a cat, but it like never leaves my sister's room. Like that cat is sleeping 24/7. And my dog died. My dog is 6 feet under. Anyways, I'm just in my room when I hear a dog. Like in my house. Like, you know when a dog shakes its head and its collar rattles and its ears flap? I heard that right from my room where I'm sitting. And it like makes me want to cry because this is where my dog used to sleep before he... So like, I think that was his spirit telling me hi. So that's like a little wholesome, spooky story. But it only gets worse.
Okay, I'm like documenting my death right now, but there's like a black van following me, and I was at Walmart and I got groceries and I got in my car and like shut the door, and this lady came up to my window and she was like knocking on it. She was like, hey, like I really need your phone, like I'm not okay, like I need to call for a ride home, like can I please have your phone? And I was like, could you like go inside and ask for help? Like I don't want to give you my phone, like I'm sorry, it's not personal. And she was like, no, they won't help me, like I need your phone. And I started realizing like what was going on. Oh my god, they're still following me. And I saw this black van parked next to me, and this man was just like sitting in there. And I like looked at the van and I looked at her and I was like, I'm so sorry, but I can't help you. And so I like left, and I think like she has my license plate number because they're following me and I'm freaking out.
You guys, this is the reason why I never wore big dresses to school. Let me set the scene for you. 4th grade Joe, 9 years old, super perky and happy to be wearing a giant dress to school. You know, I don't know why I was. Maybe we had just gotten it. I was super excited about it. It was like a Wednesday. I was probably like, Mom, I want to wear this dress. And since I was mainly tomboyish my entire life, she was probably like, yes, wear it. So I took it to school. So I took it to school. It made playtime a little complicated, but that's fine. Recess was fine. I was one of those kids who liked to roll around in the dirt, climb trees, all that jazz. And I'm like, it's just a dress. It'll be fine. So it's time for like nutrition class. I don't know. They're trying to teach us about like pyramids and like food groups. My teacher starts looking at me funny. And then she kind of just says to the entire class, Josadak? And I'm like, is it Josadak? Can you come with me outside for a second? I'm like, yeah, sure. 4th grade me just comes with her outside. And when we're outside, she closes the door. And I'm like, huh. She slowly takes off her shoe. I was like, oh, look for part. Okay, part 2. I honestly didn't expect to make 2 parts out of this. So my teacher was looking at me like so intensely while she was taking off her shoe. And I was so confused. Miss whatever your name is, because I don't remember. What are you doing? And she goes, don't move. And I start panicking. But I do what she says. Like, she gets her shoe, she holds it up to here. And then she throws it at me. And I literally jumped. She hit me in the bottom half of my dress. The shoe went flying. You know what else went flying? Right next to her shoe was the giantest spider I have ever seen in my life. I think it was a tarantula, which would have been fine because tarantulas are pretty much harmless. But at the time, both her and I were freaking out. She literally knocked the spider out. Her aim was so good. I'm actually amazed right now. She's like, oh my god, I saw that on your dress when you came in and I had to get it off. I was like, thank you. Yeah, I had no idea that was on there. So I retired that dress.
Story of the time a cop went in my car without my permission. So for a while, I was going to people's houses to do their nails. And I would do this in the summer, so a lot of my clients set up a table outside so that the smell didn't smell up their house too bad. I always feel rude to park in the person's driveway, so I usually park outside of their house on the side of the road. And this time in particular, I did just that, and we did her nails outside as well. At the time, my car had temp plates on it because I had just recently got it. And also my car is a BMW 2-door with all tinted windows, so you cannot see inside of it even if you tried. So I could understand why it looks a little bit suspicious. Luckily for me, my nail client's dog ended up running out of the fence into the front yard, right near my car. So I go with her to chase him, and I see the police officer opening up my car door. And I wasn't parked illegally or anything, and my temp plates weren't expired either. So he had no right to be opening up my car doors. So I ran over to my car and I was like, what's going on? Why are you searching my car? And he was like, this is your car? Part 2 to a cop searching my car without my permission. So I see this police officer opening up my car door and putting his head inside my car. So I'm like, excuse me, officer, is there an issue? Why are you searching my car? And he was like, oh, like, this is your car? And I was like, yes. Do you have a warrant? And then he said, do you live here? And I was like, no, but do you have a warrant? And then he said, no, actually, the neighbor called me because he was concerned, and I actually live down the street, and the car was unfamiliar, so I felt the need to search it. I can't see inside of your car because of the tints, so I didn't know if somebody was in there, like maybe sleeping in their car or something. I don't really remember what he said, but I was like, okay, but I think you need a warrant to search the car. Please close my door. And honestly, he was pretty nice about it, I'm not gonna lie. I was just really annoyed because in my head, I'm thinking like, why? Like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm always getting caught up for doing nothing.